Today, we're gonna make a delicious homemade vegetable soup. This is great on a cold winter's day and to use any extra vegetables that you may have in the freezer or canned. It's a one-pot meal. It seems like a lot, but it is super easy. This does require about 15 to 20 minutes of prep work to get your soup all in the pot. You can see all the things that I'm using, lots of vegetables. We're actually gonna use some beef in this, but if you don't wanna use beef, you can just use your vegetables and have a vegetable soup. First step is to cook your hamburger meat while you're getting all your other ingredients into your pot. This is a lean ground beef. You want to use the leanest meat you can so it doesn't have a lot of grease. You can add whatever you want to this meat. You can add seasoning salt, pepper, regular salt, but all of these ingredients are going to combine together when you're cooking the soup anyway. So if you don't put anything in this hamburger meat, that's okay. It's gonna all combine together in your soup pot. Make sure you drain your grease when you get through cooking. So you want a small onion or a half of a large onion. And it doesn't matter what type of onion you use, whether you prefer a red onion, a yellow onion, any type of onion will work. I'm gonna take my onion, and you can either grate your onion or you can chop it into small bits. This just incorporates the flavor into your soup better if you'll chop it or grate it into your soup. So we're going to blend this onion up, chop it kind of fine. It doesn't have to be really fine. So we got our onion all chopped up, and we're going to start with the rest of our ingredients first into our soup pot. First, we're going to start out with about 2 cups of water. Doesn't seem like a lot, but we'll add more at the end if we need to. This is 2 small cans, 8-ounce cans of Hunt's tomato sauce that already have the basil, garlic, and oregano added into it. It flavors your soup a lot better if you already have those flavors incorporated in your sauce. You can use a large can of this. I just could not find a large can of sauce. So again, this is my second can. This is a can of tomato paste. It's just a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. You can go ahead and turn your stove on so it can start heating up. This soup will take 2 to 2.5 hours to cook. If on the homestead you've grown homegrown tomatoes, this is even better with homegrown tomatoes. Our tomatoes did not do good this year, so we're using a can of diced tomatoes. Again, it has the basil, garlic, and oregano already incorporated into it. Okay, this is fresh green beans from our garden, so we're going to add that into our soup. These have been frozen. And you can put as many as you want in here. I don't really measure my green beans or my potatoes or my corn that I put in here. You know, when you cook Southern, you kind of just throw things in here sometimes. So I'm going to add a few more green beans. I don't feel like that's quite enough. These are frozen potatoes from the garden. If you don't have frozen potatoes, you can use raw potatoes. They'll cook the same way. You just need to cut them up into chunks. This is just whole kernel corn. Again, I don't really measure it. Just add as much as I think I might want in there. All right, you're going to add add your onions that you've chopped. We're going to go ahead and add our seasoning. You can add any seasonings that you want to your soup, but I'm going to add the ones that I like in my soup. I'm going to add a list of the ingredients to the description below. If you add anything, please let us know how you cook yours in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. You're going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of white pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of seasoning salt, 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, 1/4 a teaspoon of basil. You're going to add enough water to fill the pot almost to the top. This is our hamburger meat, and we're going to add it after we've drained all the grease off of it. We're going to also add some minced garlic to this soup. I like to add maybe 1/2 tablespoon. You can most certainly use fresh garlic if you want to. You're going to make sure that you stir this really, really well to get all of those spices stirred in really good into your soup. I think I'm going to also add just a little more water to this. As your soup cooks, it will cook down and some of your water will evaporate. So you may need to add water as this is cooking. This will take 2 to 2.5 hours to cook. You don't want to cook this on a rolling boil. You want it just to kind of simmer for those 2 hours. You may have to check on it every 30 minutes or so to adjust how it is cooking.